Hello, we are live. So this is the Wanderer's Legacy book launch. We should be live on YouTube. You should be able to hear us. I am Natasha Woodcraft, and this here with me is Joy Vee, who is from Broad Place Publishing. And if you are here with us, then please do introduce yourself in the chat and let us know that you are here. Tell us where you are watching from, and the chat might take a little while to catch up, but we will chat to you as we go on. So, right, how are you feeling this evening, Joy?
I'm feeling good. I'm just watching comments, waiting to answer, and just seeing if it's working at this end.
All right.
So
we'll give it a minute and then we'll just crack on because it can take a few minutes. Oh, Sarah Joy's here. Okay.
Hey.
Hi, Sarah Joy. Yeah, it can take a few minutes in my experience to catch up. So that's great. And Sarah is in Oswestry. Oh, in Morecambe, Lancashire. Frutandia. Oh, well, I hope I said that right. Welcome. Sorry. That's very exciting. Okay. So, Ruth in Liverpool. Hi, Ruth.
Hi.
Right. The comments should start showing up on YouTube in a little bit as well, so that you can all see each other. We got some more. Sheila and Brian from Lincoln.
I think that's my parents.
And my son from your house.
Here.
That's hilarious. Don't interfere with the Wi-Fi. Okay, great. Okay, we won't read them. Oh, Joanna, Oxford. Hi, Joanna. Great to see you. Brilliant. Oh, good. It looks like people are going on. So we'll leave that up. And the first thing we're going to do, I think, is have a reading from The Wanderer's Legacy. Are we up for that?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I will show you the cover minus the post-it notes. So we're here to celebrate. Oh, where does it go? The Wanderer's Legacy. Oh, forget the fact that it says display copy. I picked the wrong cover to show you. Display copy. And we're here. Oh, we've got another one. Okay. And so I want to ask you, what would you want me to read? Joy, you should be asking the questions, actually. It's got my name in it.
I should, except my daughter's just started printing right next to me. And
okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
So there's 3 options that we could listen to. I don't know if you've been following along with Natasha's launch, but she's read the opening on her YouTube channel already. So I would recommend not voting for that one. There is a scene with goats, and those of us who live near Natasha know that goats is something very, very close to her heart. Something that she's had rather a few too many adventures with. And so if anyone's able to put a few goats in a book, it's our Tasha. Or the scene with Eliana. So Eliana is a friend of one of the main characters. And so if you're wanting to have a look a little bit at that friendship dynamic, how does that happen?
So if you can post in the comments what your vote is, then we'll do the reading in a few minutes. So hopefully it's just got a delay, I think. It just doesn't bring it up. But post in the comments which reading you want. Oh, Sophie's here. Hi, Sophie.
Sophie would love some goats, yeah. Yes, there's another vote for the goats. I'm feeling like...
I thought the goats might win. That's what my post-it notes are for. They're the different ones so that I can flick to it quickly, even though we're waiting. So I'm going to.
There's the 2 more votes from the goats.
2 more goats for the vote. Goats for the votes. Votes for the goats. Brilliant.
Oh, great.
Oh, right. Let me see then.
I just don't know if, in all honesty, your reading is going to be as interesting as your real life experience with goats. And there might be a question and answer session later where you might have to ask Natasha about the goat experience.
Yeah, this one isn't quite so dramatic. Okay, I think everyone's voting for the goat, so I'm going to go ahead. So this actually is quite a chunk through the book. I hope it won't give too many spoilers, but I'm going to make a start. Okay. Yaval, Adah's eldest, was an adventurer. As soon as he could walk, he climbed. One day, Adah couldn't find him anywhere. I last saw him in the garden, Shua said, as Adah tore through the kitchen courtyard, frantically searching. I've looked there. Did you check the walls? You don't think he can get over them already? I wouldn't put anything past him. Ima, 5-year-old Yuval tugged at her sleeve. Yes, my love. Yuval pointed. His twin was beyond the courtyard, standing on top of the wall that separated Adah's goats from the ornamental garden. Adah's heart stopped. Yavel, get down this instant! Yavel's expression mirrored the goats. They'd both enjoyed the climb up the wall, but had no idea how to get down. Confusion answered Adah's plea as he stood, steeling himself against the breeze, which ruffled his tunic but not his black, tightly curled hair. Wait there! Don't move! She ran through the garden, grabbed the bench, and dragged it to the wall. After clambering onto it, she held out her arms. He was still astride from her reach. Jump! I'll catch you! Yavel pointed at the goat. Dotty first. Really? She was sure the goat would figure out the way soon enough. Yavel crossed his arms. I'm not going till Dotty's safe. But I can't reach her. Jump, Dotty, Yavel said. Dotty looked at her young master quizzically. She chewed whatever cud was in her mouth and moved to nudge him. No! Adah screamed, terrified that Dotty would send Yavel off the edge. What is going on? Adah spun to see Lamech striding into view. Praise Yahweh, you're back. He had nothing to do with it, Lamech muttered as he crossed the garden in a few long strides, climbed the bench and held out his arms. Yavel, down now. Dotty first. Don't be ridiculous. It's a goat. Dotty first. You first, or I shall give your backside a beating the moment you touch the ground. Yavel humphed, then reluctantly stepped forward. With his extra height, Lamech was able to grab him with no jump needed. Once he was on the ground, Adah pulled Yavel into her chest. Don't you do that again, do you hear me? Dotty started it. Yavel stuck out his bottom lip, a move that always melted Adah's heart. Soon the goat had clambered down and was next to them. Lamech joined in. Dotty is a very naughty girl. It is not wise to follow goats everywhere they go. Adah suppressed a smile. Exactly so. Naughty Dotty. She will go back to her pen for the day. But, no buts. You're fortunate we're not banning you from the pen, Lamech said. So I can go there with her? Yavel's brown eyes lit up. Lamech's fierce expression broke before Adah's. He ruffled Yavel's hair. You are far too much like your Ima. He turned, strode towards the gate, and called out to Avram's son, who was a few years older than Yavel. After instructing the older lad to keep an eye on his unruly child, he dismissed them both. Taking that as permission to stay with the goats, Yavel grabbed hold of Dotty's leather band and dragged her through the gateway that led to the pen beyond, with Avram's son skittering behind. Putting his arm around Adah's waist, Lamech pulled her to his side. It's a good thing I love you both. How did the boy get up there? I have no idea. I'll have to inspect the wall on the other side and chip off any footholds. Adah? Yes? She glanced up at her husband, grateful that their son had prevented the build-up of his anger. His face was calm, though a question lined his brows. Do we need to hire someone to care for the children? A pit opened in Adah's stomach, and her words flew out. No! Oh, please don't, Lamech. I finally found my purpose and joy. Don't take that from me. There you go. Oh, we've got some more people come. Did everyone enjoy the goats?
Rachel and Alex have joined us, and Sophie loves the word skittering.
Yes,
what a great word.
Good one, isn't it? So that's some of the mischief that the goats get up to, but there's quite a lot more mischief. There were several things I could have put in there, like chasing them across the fields, that I didn't put in there. But anyway.
No, we might hear about goats later. You just never know. But for now, we're really excited to tell you about a giveaway. So we have a giveaway going through the course of this evening's launch. And so if you would like to enter the giveaway, please type in the comments, #IWantToWin. And we will announce at the end who the winner is and what they have won. So it's all a mystery. So yeah. Are you watching the comments then?
Oh, hang on. No. Love the dynamics. Oh, thank you. Yeah. So, yeah. So
Obviously,
there's.
they're really fun. We should do a business meeting on this one time.
Oh, do goats like sunbathing? Oh,
Yes.
mine do. My goats love
Okay.
sunbathing,
Have they
actually.
been
Yeah,
happy the
I
last
think
couple of days?
so. Great.
Oh,
Okay,
brilliant.
brilliant. So I think next, are we going to do a quiz? Is everyone up
We're
for a
doing a little
quiz?
quiz. I think so.
Hmm.
So here's the thing: is that are we going to have to just trust people to mark their own, or are we going to ask them to write in the comments?
Yeah. I think
Hmm.
let's put it in the comments and then
Okay, it
is
might take
everyone
a
up
while
for
to feed through.
that?
So
Yeah, it might. You can put it in the comments, but we don't need to count them up or anything. It can just be, points. Pat
okay,
on the
yeah.
back points.
Write your answers in the chat. We're trusting you to be honest.
You're getting your Bibles out and counting. That's cheating.
Yeah, no. So no Bibles, no Googles. It's just your Bible knowledge that we're testing here. Okay, so let's see how this goes. All right, everybody ready? I can sense a few people still writing that they desperately want to win, and I do appreciate the one who
Oh,
added a please on the
Beverly's
end
here.
there.
Hi, Beverly.
So, right, let's have a little Bible quiz to see how you are. And obviously, because it's a Natasha book launch, there's quite a theme with these Bible questions. So, the first one, what was the name of Cain's son? So, yes.
I have also stuck to the names that people are familiar with, which means they're not the same names as in the book. So if you've read the book, that doesn't give you many clues.
Yes, if you've read the book but not the Bible, that's your next book.
I guess so. Pop your answer in the comments when you have it.
Okay, is it A, Enoch,
Mm-hmm.
B, Enosh, or C, Irad? So Enoch, A, Enosh, B, or Irad, C? Okay. Ooh.
You could have a bonus pat on the back if you know how the name translates in Hebrew.
Oh, what? You're adding so many.
Why not? It's a party. It's because we can't see people. It's just us, so
She's just making it more fun by the minute. Are we going to give the answers now, or are you going to give them at the end?
I don't know. What do you reckon? We're going now.
I think let's give them now, and then there's that pressure.
Night, won't we? Okay.
To not change their minds.
Do you know the answer, Joy?
I'm going to go with the majority and say A for Enoch.
Enoch, well done. Yes, it is. Cain's son was Enoch, not to be confused with the other Enoch who walked with God and then
was no more.
And then was no more. So they are two different Enochs, and there's also an Enosh, just to be confusing. And in Hebrew, it transliterates as Hanoch, which is very hard to say as an English person. Hanoch. Something like that. If Bobby was here, she'd probably be telling me I've got it wrong. But anyway, she gave me a wonderful Hebrew lesson in pronunciation. But he features in this book. But tonight, we are not just celebrating the Wanderer's legacy, we are also celebrating this little number, which is the spin-off novella. And this is actually Hanoch's book, his own little book. So there you go. Should we go to the next question?
Let's move on to the next question. So, who is the father of Lamech? And so there's two Lamechs in Genesis, as you all know. One of them is a descendant of Cain, and the other one is the father of Noah. And it's not that one we're talking about. We're talking about the one that's featured in, is it Genesis 4?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So Lamech, who is 6 descendants down from...
5 down from Cain.
5 down from Cain. Okay. So what was the name of his father? Was it any of these? Was it, thanks for this, Methuselah, and Methushael?
Well done. I think that's about right. I don't really know myself. I mean, I know the answer. I don't know how to
I'm
pronounce
so
it.
glad you know the answer. I think I know the answer for this one as well.
Okay. This one is a bit of a tricky. It does trip people up.
I have to say, in my reading of the Bible, you start in Genesis. I've read Genesis 1 to 5 quite a lot. Every year, every January the 1st.
Yeah. That's all down. I wonder if you've read it as many times as I have.
Probably not.
I estimate I've probably read it about 1,500 times.
Yeah, I think you're winning.
I don't actually know, but I wouldn't be surprised. Okay. Oh, okay. Lots of people are saying
Coming on.
Methuselah, 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 Methuselah. Oh. Okay. Hi, Yvonne. Say hi, Yvonne. Okay, so it's not Methuselah.
No, it's not.
The next question is about Methuselah, just to confuse you, but it's not Methuselah. It is Methushael. So this Lamech's dad was Methushael, but Lamech, the father of Noah's dad, is Methuselah. So it's really confusing. So in Seth's line, it goes Methuselah, Lamech, Noah. And in Cain's line, it goes Methushael, Lamech, and then his sons, who I'm not going to tell you the names of because there's another question about them.
Well, yeah. So if you're looking for editing services with this amount of detail, please contact Natasha. Let's have a look at the next one. So, Methuselah.
Methuselah, yeah.
Okay, Selah. Methuselah. So the father of Lamech. How old did he live to be? I mean, I'm going to say it's going to be a number between 1 and 1,000. If
Yep. I'd go with that. Yep. Surprise! Oh, look at this! Oh, wow! We've got some good guesses already. That's giving it away. Yeah. So Methuselah is the longest. What would you say? The oldest person to have ever lived according to the biblical record. Okay, so the oldest person that's mentioned in the biblical record. So yeah. So some of these people are very, very close. Some of them are right.
On the ball, aren't they? Yeah. they've also read Genesis 1 to 5 every 1st of January as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's add. It is 969, which several people have guessed. So well done.
Well
all those
done.
people who've guessed 969.
Right. Okay. The next one. How many verses are in the often read chapter of Genesis 4? So is that 26, 27, or 31? So we are desperately trying to do this without referring to the Bible app and anything deliciously lovely like that. What do you think? Just think about that. Could you just hold up the book again, Natasha? Show us how thick the book is, just so we've got an idea. Oh, both of those books. There you go.
There's also 2 others, isn't there, that are based on Genesis 4. Shall I get those? Why not?
How many verses inspired? Yeah, so if any of you don't have the first 2 books, oh my God. Yeah.
A bit naughty, isn't it?
So if any of you don't have the first 2 books, we can thoroughly recommend them. The Wanderer Scorned and The Wanderer Reborn are amazing. I think I just said reborn. I think I just made up a title. Wanderer Reborn. Amazing books, biblical fiction, the kind of stuff that's really going to challenge you, but it's also really uplifting and hope-filled, kind of, although it's set against quite a dark backdrop.
That one is. Oh. That one's not so uplifting. Challenging. But yes, they are all based on Genesis.
Okay, well, so far, we seem to be pretty evenly split. If anything, people are saying 31.
Yeah, okay. The answer is just 26.
26.
26 verses.
Imagine how much she would have gone to town if there'd been 31 verses. Guys, we've just saved ourselves 3 more books. Oh, brilliant. Okay, so those of you who are new here, we're just doing a quick quiz. There is no prize, but there is a quick giveaway. I will just remind you of the giveaway again. If you've just come in late, to enter the giveaway, type in the comments #I want to win. Don't worry too much about spelling. We'll just see the hashtag and know your heart. We're not going to penalise you for not spelling it or for putting spaces in or something like that. Okay, we're going to move on to the next question in the quiz. So much fun. There are only 4 women named in the first 10 books of the Bible, or it's 11 inclusive, isn't it? From Genesis chapters 1 to 10, there's only 4 women. Can you name them?
I hope. I did double check earlier that I wasn't incorrect in this. So
can you imagine like people come out with like 28? It's a whole genealogy in there full of women. But lots of people want to win, so that's good. Brilliant. Welcome to the party. Yeah, how many women? 4 of them. Ooh. Ooh. Ooh.
It's got it good.
Comments through.
Now everyone can see the comments. You see.
Yeah. Interesting.
Going a little bit beyond. Oh yeah, well done. Okay, we're getting a theme. Yeah. So Eve, obviously. Eve is mentioned.
Yes.
So, yes, and if you've read these ones, oh gosh, I can't hold it up straight in front of the camera, then you'll know that I call her Hava. Which means
why?
life.
Why do you call her Hava?
Because that's her name. I don't really know why it translates as Eve for us, but it should be Hava, and it means life.
Okay.
And interestingly, Haim, which is also a character in the first 2 books, also means life. It's just the masculine form, same name. So Eve, and then the 3 women that are in the Wanderer's Legacy are the only other women mentioned in those first 10 chapters, and they are Adah, Tzillah, and Naamah. So well done, everyone who got that. Good job. So why was only a few women mentioned in all that big chunk of text? That was one of the questions that sparked off writing this book. Right,
did you come to maybe? Did you come to an answer, or are you still pondering that one?
I'm still pondering, I suppose, but I think they were obviously significant, and so they needed a book, didn't they? And I don't think anyone else has given them a book. So
probably
now they have one. Now they have
probably one. Not. We will do the last question.
Yeah.
The last question of this fun quiz is: the characters in the Wanderer's Legacy live in Nod, in the land of Nod, which is a biblical place. But what does Nod mean? Is that actually in the Bible, or did you have to look that up? It's written in the Bible.
Is it written? Oh, is it? No, I'm not sure it is.
Extra biblical knowledge needed, guys. Oh no!
It's the original Hebrew. So I think it just says, "Oh, I'd have to check, but that would be cheating, wouldn't it?"
It would. But you're going to have to know the answer to be able to give people the answer. Unless I click on these comments, have a look at the comments, and the answer's there magically.
Well, most Bibles just say Nod, but there is a footnote that tells you what it means if you're in a Bible with footnotes.
Right.
So there you go. But don't check, because that would be cheating. So does anyone know?
Do you have an answer to give us tonight?
Oh yeah.
Okay. All right. What a relief.
Excellent. Oh, okay. So Joe is on the board. Is it to do with being a wanderer? It is. It is. A place where everyone's very sleepy. Yep, that's it. Exactly. They're nod means they're nodding asleep. Great answer. Yes. So it means
Laurie has asked if it's sanctuary.
Ooh, that's a really nice. That would be great. but not to my knowledge.
Oh, good
So
try.
Nod is the place where Cain is banished to, and it does mean wandering, simply wandering. So
Ah,
hence the series title, The Wanderer.
there you
So
go.
it's called A Wanderer Fugitive. It's called, the series title is The Wanderer because they are banished to Nod. So actually, I don't know whether they would have actually called it Nod or just called it the Land of Wandering, and it gets called both in my stories. Okay.
So I will just give one more reminder, probably my last reminder now, about the giveaway. If you'd like to excitingly receive the giveaway prize, which, goodness knows, I don't know what it is.
We're going to tell
I
you in
might,
a bit.
I might
We're going to
decide
tell you in
I
a bit.
want to win in myself, to be fair. And while you're typing that in, excitingly, Natasha has agreed to sing a song for us. So, Natasha, can you tell us about why you're going to sing the song? Are you going to play the drums behind you? And
That would sound bad. They're my sons.
Can you tell us about the song, please?
Okay, so this is, if you've read any of my books, then you will know that I like to weave songs into the narrative. And this song is called Bone of My Bones. And let me find it through my post-its. So it is, I'll read you the little bit before it in a moment. But you remember the bit in early in Genesis where Adam says of Eve, she is now bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. And I imagined this scenario, and I was writing this little chapter, and the characters are sitting around a fire having a sing-song, because that happens, right? We all sit around campfires and have a sing-song every now and then, or at least they must have done then. I'm sure we all do that, and it's not just me, right? And I was thinking, what sort of cultural songs, because we've got lots of biblical songs in the series, but there must have been cultural songs as well. And so there's one which is a little bit ruder than this one in the book as well. But this one is not a rude one, so it's more acceptable for me to sing it. And it's always had a little tune in my head. And as I was writing this chapter, it just kind of flowed onto the page. And I never really edited it or anything. It just flowed onto the page. So I will read you just the little paragraph before, and then I will sing to you. That's all right. So see if you can catch all the references in it to the previous stories. So Abba was in high spirits. He sang songs from the stories of old. It had been so long since Adah had heard her Abba sing, she'd forgotten how rich his voice was. When Mela was pulled away from the fire by the younger children and forced to join in the games, Adah found herself next to Ruhamah. He smiled and scooted a little closer. Across from them, Eliana was sitting on Manon's lap, their expressions shielded by the firelight dancing in Adah's eyes. As Shimiel's song transformed into an old love song between the wanderer and his wife, Rivka joined him to duet. Long we have travelled and long we have roamed, never finding a permanent place to call home. With you by my side, I don't travel alone. You're flesh of my flesh and bone of my bones. So sing now, don't travel or settle alone, but wander, oh wander, with the bone of your bones. Once I did travel alone, till she found me, and mercy, oh mercy, was shown. My heart was a tangle of thorns and of stone, till she loved me and showed me the one on the throne. So sing now, don't settle or travel alone, but wander, oh wander, with the bone of your bones. Long we have waited for seasons to pass, to glean what we can from the trees and the grass. With you by my side I will labour at last, with the flesh of my flesh and the fire of my heart. So sing now, don't settle or travel alone, But wonder, oh wonder, with the bone of your bones. There you go. I was singing it in a little bit of a country accent then. I'm not quite sure why I did that.
So
It just
beautiful.
felt right.
It did.
But there you go, a little fireside thing. And if you've if you've read The Wanderer Reborn, a lot of that will make sense to you, I think.
How exciting. So what we're going to do, if you have enjoyed that particular song, there are songs on Tasha's YouTube channel. Tasha, what is your YouTube channel?
Well, they should be on it right now if they're watching the live. So you should be able to just scroll across and click subscribe now, and then you'll get any notifications, because I haven't actually uploaded any of the songs from this book onto YouTube yet, but I will hopefully be doing that within the next month or so. So you'll get notifications of that. You can also go back and listen to any of the others in the series, if you're reading any bits of the series and you come across a song that you like, see if it's on there. Not everyone is on there, but quite a few are.
Absolutely. We have just heard in the comments from Beverly that she's having some internet trouble, but she would like to know how to buy a book. So it's as if we knew you were going to ask, Beverly. Take a quick screenshot of this particular screen. Signed paperbacks and hardbacks are available from broadplacepublishing.co.uk/shop. And that's where all of our books can be found. Free UK delivery, over £40. So why not buy one for a friend? There's some tremendous deals there as well. If you've never come across Tasha's work before, then you could buy all 3 of her books at a real bargain price. So please, please go over and check that out. And
I think Beverly is over in the States.
Beverly. We can still help you out.
If you're the Beverly Phillips, I think you are. Books are available internationally through all stores. You can order them from anywhere, including Amazon or Barnes and Noble, anywhere you get books from. To get is that to get signed up for the book, or signed copies are really, really expensive to send internationally because it's a big fat book. So so that is a bit tricky. But if you're in the UK, then we can definitely send you a signed copy. So.
But if you want to sign up for the newsletter, then you can do this.
She's got another one.
I tell you what. So we would love it if you would sign up to the news. The great thing about the newsletter is that Natasha then has your information and can contact you directly. Because as you will probably have known, you may or may not get notices and notifications on Facebook, even if you say that you want to follow or be part of a group. It can be so hit and miss. And so this is the best way for you to support Natasha and for you to encourage her, is to sign up to be part of her email list. You'll get an exclusive novelette as well, which is very exciting. So again, take a quick screenshot of this lovely screen with me and Natasha going. I
missed that, sorry.
No, it's hilarious. So we have got one more reading that we are going to read. Well, no, I'm not. Natasha is. However, I'm gonna just show you this as well. There is a bonus giveaway. So for those of you who have already purchased the book, why not photograph yourself with the book somewhere exciting and load it up onto your social media? What we found as authors is that actually when people do this, we do see a spike in sales, because people see their friends have read a book and are like, oh, I want to read that book as well. It really works. It works more than the paid ads. It works more than podcasts, works more than being on TV. And so you could really support Natasha and help her get her books out there simply by taking a photograph of you in an exciting place. Let's keep it clean. I don't want any toilet photographs. We don't need those.
Don't get this one started.
So let's keep it clean. But let's see how many exciting places. If any of you are off to Paris in the next couple of days, please just pop the book in the suitcase. Let's have a top of the Eiffel Tower photo. That would be great. And tag Natasha on Facebook or Instagram.
And if you've got an ebook, just you can still do it with like the the cover image or something like that on your phone or whatever.
Image.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Brilliant. So you have another reading for us, Natasha. What are you going to read now?
So this is a double book launch, as we mentioned earlier, which was quite by accident. Because you know what I'm like, I write too much. And so it was meant to be a book launch for this, but when I sat down to write a short story that we could give away with the Wanderer's Legacy, I accidentally wrote a novella. So this is actually a decent sized book on its own. Sorry, excuse the post-it notes. I'm really bad at doing this back to front. But you can see it's actually a fairly decent sized novella on its own. And it is Hanok's story, as I mentioned earlier, if you were with us at the beginning, when we had the Hanok question. And so I'm going to read to you, because it's a double book launch for this one as well, a little bit from Between the Rivers. And because I didn't expect many of you to know what this was about or to have read it, I've just picked one. I'm not giving you a choice, so I hope that's all right. So this chapter is called Captured. Here we go. This time the spear tip was real. Hanok knew it, for heavy breaths accompanied it and a mutter of "Don't move." Could he open his eyes? Did that count as moving? Senses sharpened, he sniffed deeply, hoping to catch the scent of his Ima. He couldn't. His fingers twitched. Were hers nearby? "You can open your eyes." The words came out in a groan, almost sarcastic. It was a woman's voice. Hanok's eyes fluttered open, immediately alighting on a sharpened stone held to his jugular. He gulped down the saliva rising in his throat. When his gaze flickered up, blue eyes met his. Bright blue, like a summer sky. The young woman was pale-skinned with light hair. He'd not seen anything like her before. Amusement tugged at his captor's lips. She eased her blade away slightly. It was a small one, handheld, not a spear at all, and drew her shoulders down. "Who are you?" In his surprise, he almost blurted out, "Hanok, son of Cain," but stilled his tongue just in time. The woman was dressed in skins, and her hair, though the colour of sunlight, was matted and screwed into a ball held up by a bone. Taut biceps bulged beneath strips of fabric tied around her arms, holding more weapons than just the ones she threatened him with. She was a hunter, and certainly not a safe recipient of his name. He pursed his lips, which seemed to set her against him. "Fine, I'll take you to my mother. She'll know what to do with you." She abruptly shouted, "Get up!" which set Hanok scrambling to his feet in a daze. Then she tilted her head towards a large bush which a slight path led to, no more than an animal track. He stumbled that way, pushed on by the blade now resting between his shoulder blades. Only when he reached the bush did he see the gap in its centre, previously hidden by overlapping branches. "Go through," she ordered, and he obeyed, lifting a hand in front of his face to avoid being whipped. The narrow track continued to the other side, and they followed it for some time, until he felt the blade lower. He ventured a glance over his shoulder, just as the young woman put 2 fingers to her lips and emitted 3 shrill whistles, short, short, long. In response, a sheep bleated, and before Hanok could figure out what that meant, he was pushed through another bush. This one did whip his face, for he had no opportunity to prevent it. They came out into a clearing where a few sheep grazed before a hut made from mud and straw. A fire burned next to it, and before that 2 more women sat. One looked uncannily like the woman holding a weapon at his back, and the other one was Ima! The unknown woman stood. "This must be your son." A smile hovered on her lips, and Ima turned her head. As Ima called Hanok's name and beckoned, a low growl rumbled behind him. Was that an animal, or— "Does that mean I must release him?" his captor moaned. "It does, Yale." "Ugh!" The knife previously held to his back flew across the clearing and sank into the ground perilously close to one of the sheep. "Yale, temper!" Yale stomped towards her knife, in stark contrast to her silent footsteps moments before, then retrieved her weapon and slipped it into the band around her right forearm. Then she slumped next to the fire, put her chin in her hands, and humphed. By this time, Ima had reached Hanok and was leading him forwards. "Dearest, I'm sorry for leaving you alone. I was captured myself while collecting berries." She chuckled. "Hannah has skillful daughters." "Hannah?" he asked. "This must be Ima's younger sister, the one married to Shimon. Shouldn't they be afraid?" Come, come, do not fear, Hannah said, encouraging him forwards. Would you like some stew? Hanok ventured a glance at the pot suspended over the fire. Red meat, vegetables, and grains. His stomach grumbled, but what meat was it? He'd heard the stories about Shimon. Ima caught his eye and nodded. It seemed that whatever it was, she'd decided to accept Hannah's hospitality. Indeed, a bowl sat empty next to her. Was she scared too? Too scared to refuse? Yahweh is shining on you and your son, Arwan, Hannah continued as she served him some stew and passed the bowl to Yael, who scowled before accepting it. My boys are hunting in the north today, and Shimon. Where is Shimon? Ima asked. Hanok heard the slight tremor in her voice. He is in Nod, Hannah said. At least, I assume so. He's been gone 2 weeks with my eldest son. You probably just missed them. You know they regularly visit. Ima nodded. We know. We've seen the signs. Were he here? Had any of them found you? Will your daughters tell? Ima interrupted. Yael looked up. Wait! This is her! She leapt to her feet. This is the woman we were told to never let escape! Ima, you don't mean to let her go! Hannah glared at her daughter, leaving Hanok wondering if she'd shown kindness a moment ago or if he'd imagined it. She's the murderer's wife! Yael continued. And that means you! She turned on him, and suddenly her knife was once again at his throat. Yael, enough! Hannah's command stilled her daughter's attack, and Yael bit into her lips so hard that Hanok spied blood. When Hannah insisted Yael sit, she resumed the same cross-legged position she'd previously held. Hanok released a breath he hadn't known he'd been holding. This young woman was dangerous, but at least her mother held control. Arwan is my sister. No one, not even your father, has a right to take her life in my presence. But he said we must keep her, to use as... Yael slapped a hand over her mouth. Hanok's feet itched. To use as what? They should leave right now and get as far away from this place as possible, but neither he nor his mother were fighters, and despite no other men being present, they didn't stand a chance if Hannah wouldn't let them. Even if Hannah were sincere, he had no inclination to trust this family. Indeed, Yael was probably the best of them, for at least he knew where he stood when she was incapable of holding her tongue. The only sliver of hope in this entire scenario was that Yahweh's name had graced Hannah's lips. Ima claimed her sister was faithful. Could it still be true after all these years married to the enemy? Silence reigned as those around the fire considered each other. Hanok glanced at Yael again, chewing on the lip she'd bitten, not noticing nor caring about the blood. She was younger than him, but not as young as she'd seemed at first. Tendrils of her hair had escaped her bun, and a few unmatted strands now cupped her chin. Why wasn't she married? Then he realized his mother had mentioned another daughter. Where was the one who captured Ima? So there you go. That's a little intro to Between the Rivers. We were jumping in a couple of chapters in, but hopefully you got the gist of it, despite the confusing names of Hannah and Hanok, which are very, very similar, which I didn't realise till I was reading.
Yeah, they look different on the page, if that helps.
They do.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. Lovely. Well, if you have any last-minute questions for Natasha, then please do add them along the bottom. I will just pop the instructions up again for the bonus giveaway. So if you post and tag, how do people tag you on Instagram and Facebook? Is it with a hashtag? Is it with a...
If you use an at symbol and then start typing my name, it should come up with a little bubble that you can tap, and then that should tag me in.
Okay. And then there was the comment made, which I can thoroughly understand. People don't like having their own faces on photographs. Absolutely. No, this is a face for radio and podcast right here. And so I take a photograph of the book. Right, like this, me taking a picture of the book. You don't have to put your own face on it. It's great. Or you could actually just hold the phone with the book in front of your face and get someone else to take the photo, obviously.
Or just in front of some nice scenery or something. Yeah.
At the top of the
Whatever
Eiffel
works
Tower.
for you is fine. Yeah, as long as you tag me in, and then I'll know that you've done it, because if you don't tag me, I won't necessarily see it. So,
but your friends will, and they'll buy books, and we'll go, wow, someone must have tagged someone with friends. So if that's you, please do. We do have some questions for you, Natasha. So the first question we had is, are you more of an Adah or a Tzillah? So the two wives of Lamech had very, very different personalities and characters.
Oh, that's hard, isn't it? They're very different. My husband thinks that I'm like Awan, who isn't in this book. So, but if you have read The Wanderer Reborn, he says that I'm like Awan. For Adah or Tzillah, that's tricky. I don't think I'm as funny as Zilla is. Zilla is really just she's hilarious. Well, I think she's funny. I hope that you enjoy her light relief, because the first two books were rather serious, but this one has a little bit of light relief as well as goats.
It's not quite serious though, Tash. Really,
it's still a bit serious, yeah. But there's a few moments of light relief. And I find Zilla quite funny. I laugh at her. I don't think I'm as funny as she is. And Maya's, I suppose I'm a bit like Adah. I don't know if she's a very gentle soul. And I'm not sure I could put up with what she puts up with. I'm not sure I'm as strong as she is. I think she's amazing. So yeah, you'll have to read the book to find out, and then perhaps you can make your own judgment. That was a really hard question. Good one.
Okay, we'll try maybe an easier one. Why did you write? What made you start writing about Cain and his descendants in the first place?
Okay, so I had been reading some Christian fiction and with a little bit of biblical fiction, and I'd sort of felt this prompting that that maybe I should be writing some, and it was completely out there because I thought I was going to write non-fiction text, but I was being blessed by other people's books. I thought, I wonder if I could actually bless others through writing my own, and it was a very strange thought. And so I prayed for about 6 months before doing anything, because I'd not really written fiction before. And I was just praying and praying and praying. And then one morning I just woke up and just had this idea about Cain in my head. And I don't really know why, because I don't think I was reading it at the time. It was just there in my head. And I can only hope that it was the Holy Spirit. And I got the first line of The Wanderer Scorned, or the first line of Cain's story, which is, it all started with the banishment. And I just sat down at the computer and I wrote it. And I wrote the first 2 paragraphs, and then I sat back and I went, what just happened? And then in terms of The Wanderer's legacy, I'd never intended to write it. I thought that Scorned and Reborn were finished. And then the Lamech narrative, which forms the prologue and epilogue of Wanderer Scorned and Wanderer Reborn, came later. I was at least, I think, half, maybe 3/4 through the book before I added that in. I was just walking my dog one day and I went, something's missing from my book. Lord, what's missing from my book? And I was walking the dog and I was sort of praying it through. And then suddenly I went, Lamech, 77 times. That was it. That was what was missing. Cain 7 times, Lamech 77. And from there, the Lamech story just, I didn't even know it was going to be its own book at that stage, but it was put into that part of the book. And then I'd started writing another book. I wasn't going to come to it. And then again, one morning, or maybe when I was doing the washing up, maybe one time, I can't remember, I got the opening chapter of The Wanderer's Legacy, which I've already read out on YouTube. So check it out if you haven't heard it, about Adah. And that was a surprise, because I thought if I was going to write something, it would be Hanok's story. And so when I got this chapter about Adah, I was like, oh, where did that come from again? So that was a long explanation, but
it was very exciting. Very exciting. Okay, what's your favourite part of this new book?
I can't really tell you without giving the story away. I can tell you what my favourite chapter is, if I can remember what number it is.
Tell us what number it is, yeah. And then you'll have to buy the book in order to find out what her favourite part is. Oh no.
It might take me a minute to find it. I can't remember what number it is. The numbers have changed a few times. I want to say 37, but I don't think it is.
The chapter previously known as 37. It's a spoiler chapter, we can't tell you, but she does have a favourite bet.
I do. It's a chapter that I almost said, "Do you want me to read a section that makes me cry?" And then I chickened out, and I didn't ask that question, because if I was going to read a chapter, it would be this one that made me cry. I think it is. Yes, it's 34, chapter 34. So when you get the book, look up chapter 34, but don't. It's complete spoiler. If I tell you what's in it, it will honestly give the game away. So I just can't tell you what's in it. But that's my favorite chapter. 34.
If you haven't started yet, don't go to chapter 34. It'll ruin the power of it. You're going to have to start at chapter 1, and by about 3 a.m, you'll get to chapter 34. Have a little cry, and then you can go to bed happy.
And there is a goat in it, I think. But that's not why.
Brilliant. Okay, a couple more questions, and then I think it's about time to let people go. One question. So now, are you going to write a book about Noah?
I don't know. That's the question. I have almost set myself up for it, but I am reluctant for a number of reasons. The Wanderer's Legacy is quite dark in places. It is exploring what the world might have started looking like before Noah's time. And in Noah's time, the reason why it all happens is because the Lord looked at the earth and there was nothing good. It was all evil everywhere. And I just am struggling to know how I could write that. I think that would be extremely difficult. And some people have done it and I've not been convinced by their efforts, because I just think it's got to be pretty horrible to write. So maybe, but unless I get the green light, I'm not intending to. But I've left it open just in case.
Okay, so the best way would be for you to sign up to Natasha's newsletter, because then you would know what she if she ever did. So Yvonne has just asked that, is there any other way of sending a photo without using Facebook or Instagram?
Well, there's any other platform is
any other platform. You're on YouTube. You could just upload a quick video to YouTube, pop it in the comments.
Or take a photo of you showing it to other people. I don't know, and send that to me. Possibly. It's just, the idea is just to share about the book. So it's just a fun way to share about the book. But it doesn't have to be social media. If you can think of a more creative way of doing it, then go for it.
Absolutely. And final question, I think, and then we're going to round up. So Rebecca's asked, what story is percolating in your spirit so far right now? Or are you just still getting over all of this?
I might be for a while. So I'm actually intending on releasing a young adult fantasy allegorical series next. So I am going to put biblical fiction aside for a little while. And I actually intended to do that 2 years ago. And then Adah interrupted me when I was washing up, which was very rude of her, because I had already started this series. And the idea is actually is a Noah story, but it's in a different world. And that's because I didn't think I could do Noah. So that sort of answers that other question. So I am intending to get that all out before I continue writing another biblical fiction. But the idea is it will be something exciting for young people, because I have teenage boys and there's not much out there for them to read, not much at all that is wholesome and teaches them about Jesus. And so I'm trying to write something that's exciting, that's going to grip them, but is going to teach them how to walk with Jesus, how to have a relationship with him. And so that's the plan.
Brilliant. That's great. We are so blessed to see all the comments and to have you all kind of with us here. We've really appreciated you joining in. We'll go back through your comments later on and kind of just chat. No, there was a giveaway, wasn't there?
Yeah, there was a giveaway. So what we would like to do now, I'm aware that that the people that are watching are very international. So that's why we didn't quite announce what the giveaway was going to be at the start, because it can be difficult to post things. But what we would like to do, where did I put that thingy? Oh, yes. So we have some special items. We have some beautiful Wanderer's Legacy bookmarks. Can you see that? We have some lovely Wanderer's Legacy key rings, which we didn't quite get around to making, but we have some key rings, and we have an international winner. So that means that we're not going to be able to send a signed copy of this because it's just way too expensive. So I'm sorry about that. So we will give you the opportunity to say whether you would like an ebook copy of any of my other books, or whether you would like me to send you a copy of Between the Rivers, because that is much more postable, and the bookmark and the keyring. So yeah, does that sound good?
Who was it?
The winner. Oh yeah.
I've got it here. Yes. So shall I announce it? Do you want to announce it? Yeah. Sorry, hang on.
Yes. So our international winner was Laurie Casco.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Is that how I say it? It is. Yeah. Laurie Chasco.
Yeah.
Chasco. So well done. So Laurie, I will contact you afterwards. Yeah, we will do that, and that's fantastic.
Congratulations.
Thank you all very much for joining me this evening.
It has been lovely. Thank you so much. And we'll probably see you again for the launch of Natasha's next book. So yeah, brilliant. Excellent. Thank you so much, guys.
Yep, and remember the other giveaway thing, and I will announce that at the end of April. Who has won that? Okay, brilliant.
Okay, good night, and God bless. Bye bye.